Prime time! Hello everyone, welcome to another unbox and review video. So today we have the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Optimus Prime DLX scale from Threezero. Alright, brand spanking new, just arrived from Hong Kong. Give it a look here, again, pretty nice box, but we'll tear the tape off and we'll get a closer look, shall we? Let's... Ooh, very heavy box this. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Before we go through anything, we even touch the figure, let's go through a little bit of the paperwork included with this figure. Again, this is a bit tedious, but it does show you how to correctly articulate and what sort of accessories are included with your figure. Here is the instruction manual. The accessories count. Several kinds of hands and rifles. Nice battle mask and a mouth plate. Very cool. Active display stand. Very, very nice. Yeah, you know, 2 swords as per usual for Prime. And I do believe 1 gun. Which is weird because the RTF Prime had 2 guns. That's okay. So again, you know, instructions and everything, how to do the lights. And all of that good stuff. I mean, really, the instructions are very critical to your operation of this figure. If you don't read the instructions well, again, you know, I'm not responsible for any breakage of this. You're on your own. So please do go through the instructions first before you actually fiddle around with this figure, what have you. So the next piece of paper we have is, of course, the Threezero warranty sheet, which again, you fill in all of your stuff and Threezero will cover you in the event of damage or anything untoward happening or unwanted happening to your figure. All right, so before we take a look any further, let's take a look at the accessories. So it comes with several accessories. First being these 2 signature arm blades. Energon swords, I think they're called. As you can see here, there's a sort of a frosted section to the main center of the blade, and then the actual blade itself is cast in this translucent orange. It's very, very nice. And if you squint really hard, you can take a look at all of these little tiny Energon runes. Very, very nice, especially when Optimus, you know, always pulls these out when he's doing epic things. Yes. As you can see here, I mean, this is your first sort of taste at some of the weathering that's been done to this figure. I mean, you look at that and it's beautiful weathering, some beautiful sort of scuffing, like multiple shades of gray and grime applied to it. Sort of your first little hint and taste as to how weathered this thing is. And of course, this one also comes with a, I think there's an arm thing. So replicate the first movie blaster where he's pulling it out of his back. And it has this extra, I guess, stock piece. And you also get these little tiny side doors, which I'm pretty sure attach to Optimus's chest. And well, if you're confused as to what side these are gonna go to, they have L and R printed on the bottom. So, you know, okay, this is the right side, this is the left side. So you know which part of Optimus attached these to. Very nice. Let's go to the hands. Love hands. This one. Yeah, done this nice sort of dark gray plastic, which is weird because like a lot of the official Optimuses of this design come in silver hands. Again, I'll take a look at mine in a minute. You know, this is very like dark gunmetal. And all the scuffing and weathering applied to this is really, really nice. Not sure if the camera can see it. But yeah, it's very, very nice. So you have this sort of relaxed hand. And you have this right open hand. He's grasping something, which I do believe he did a lot in the promo art, where he's just like sort of running forward and grabbing something, which is really cool. You get a trigger finger. Very nice. You get another trigger finger for the left, and same song and dance for the right. You have an open hand on the left, you get an open hand, and you get this, of course, grasping hand. Very nice. And let's get to the final accessory for this. The stand, the dynamic Threezero stand, and the stand is, I guess, alright. I think it's the same as the other Threezero stands that have come out recently. And you know, they're alright. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Threezero. And of course it comes with a dynamic flight stand. Well, the dynamic stand. So if you want, you can like have your Prime be up in the air shooting, pew pew pew, I'll take you all on. Or you know, just have them be like on the ground, stable, supported by something. And again, there are multiple sort of locks on this so you can adjust it to your liking. Very nice. And lastly, I think this is the last one. So just lastly but not leastly, he comes with the secondary mouth plate, as you can see here. It's very small. Very small. I think we'll give it a close look where it's attached on the figure later. We'll attach it later just so people can see. But yeah, this is very, very nice. Not my favorite sort of design for Prime. He always needs a faceplate at the very least. You know, mine has faceplate on. Yes, very, very nice. So let's set all these accessories aside, and we'll take a look at the figure itself, shall we? Let's. All right, so now we have Optimus Prime out of the box, and well, first things first, let's take a look at this awesome paint and sculpt work. I mean, look at the paint first. I mean, just look at this. This is Threezero's forte right here. This thing is slathered head to toe in metallic blue and reds. And oh yeah, I'm in love with this thing. Yeah, look at all the little scratches and dirt and the grime. I mean, this is correct to the CGI model of Optimus, and it looks like he pulled it straight out of the computer and just gave it to me as a figure like this. I mean, just look at this beautiful, beautiful paintwork. I mean, this metallics are just catching the light beautifully. Just look at it, just waving it around. It's like, it's just so much work catching the light. I mean, his entire forearm here is just sort of etched and like, you know, edged and weathered. Look at all the silver dry brushing. Look at it. Just look. I can't gush over how much Threezero has done to this figure. You know, being a non-transforming transformer, he is the best looking sculpt-wise figure of Optimus Prime from the Bayverse Optimus Prime. I mean, yeah, this because it doesn't have to account for transformation. It doesn't have to take into account like all the moving parts needed for transformation. This is just like translating the CGI model one-to-one as a figure. But that being said, he still has all the hallmarks of a transformer. You know, there's a lot of car parts here and there. I mean, look at here. Obviously, there's the window chest. Over here, you still have the tires, and the tires here. The fender, I think the front fender for the truck. And the back here still has all the gas tanks and what have you. Yeah, I mean, really, really nice. You can even see the fifth wheel up here for the truck mode to attach the trailer to. Yeah, I mean, this is great. This is really, really great. Yeah, so again, the paintwork is exquisite, and it looks like someone just pulled the CGI files from the computer and just straight put it here. It's that damn good. All right, so let's take a look at the articulation, and this thing is loaded with articulation and posability. But word of warning, I do really, really seriously recommend that you take a look at the instructions first before moving things. Again, word of warning. This is not a 1/6 figure. This isn't your Generations Transformer. This isn't your mainline Transformer or even a Masterpiece figure. This is a, I think, what, $200 premium adult collectible. So be very, very careful when handling this figure. So that out of the way, let's get started with the articulation. Let's move him off side of the head. Moves up and down, left and right. You can do the funky chicken. There's a 2-stage ball joint at work here. There's one at the base of the neck, one on the head, it's one on the neck itself. Let's move forward down to the arms. The arms can go 360. They're designed for that, and some of the parts here do not take well to some of the clearance problems. And these move out of the way. The bicep blue armor, very, very nice. Oh, it's a bit stiff, but there you go. And you can even, to facilitate extra articulation, you can move these shoulder pads out of the way, and you can move this arm up. Right, this is prime, one arm up. Let me just do this one too. This is prime cheap hosen for signature look of superiority. Then there's even an extra joint up here in the armpit, lets you move it higher. So yeah, look at this, like full stretch thing, even higher. Yeah, really, really cool in terms of getting you some extra posability. There's also a butterfly joint, so you can move it pretty far forwards. Very nice. And my one disappointment in terms of the articulation here is only so far the bicep swivel. Because you can see here, the bicep swivel is a bit limited. So let me just move this out of the way so you can see it. Okay, so this is the bicep straight, and this is the swivel in action, and it only goes that far. I want to push it a bit higher because I feel it can go a bit more, but the instructions say, well, I think they imply that this is only as far as the bicep can go. So if anyone can, figure out a way to get the bicep to move further forward, then, or if the instructions are, well, me misinterpreting them, just let me know in the comments below. But so far, what I can see here, the bicep is very limited. This is as far as it can go, which is a bit disappointing, to be honest, because I think the original DLX Prime had a much more mobile bicep swivel, but we'll get to that in a bit. So let's take a look at the elbow, double elbow joint. Very nice, and it's a really good curl too. Just look at that. Really cool, really, really cool. And of course the arms are like a 1/6 arm, so there's a swivel and a hinge and a pivot, all what have you. Very nice. Let's look on the chest. The chest is where it's a bit frustrates me just a little bit, because the instructions say it has a lot of joints, and trust me, it does. But so far I can only activate a couple of them. So let's walk them through it one by one. So there's of course a traditional waist swivel. Just get this. There's a waist swivel, so here and here. There's a wiggle waggle, so you can side to side. Very nice. So I'm only activate, I can't activate one. One is missing. So there's supposed to be an ab crunch. So you're supposed to be able to move him back and forth, but for some reason or another, I can't activate that joint. So, and the instructions aren't helping at all as well. I mean, it just says you can move back and forth. So I can't activate it. I think it may paint stuck, but I'm not trying, I don't want to force it. So, you do you, try to put a little more pressure, maybe you can get that. Because, word of warning, I've actually spoiled one joint already on this figure. And it's this one right here when I was just testing out the articulation. So for the shoulders, you were supposed to be able to move this and this arm piece, and this gas tank assembly will move up with it and move down with it. But I actually spoiled this a bit. I broke it. So you can only go up and then it can't move down. So I think I might have broken it. Yeah, that's just from my stupidity. But yeah, again, be very careful with all the moving parts on this figure. So yeah. And the chest as well has a lot of things designed in it to keep pieces out of the way for articulation. So for example, like if you want to move the chest a bit more forward to activate that ab crunch, you can move this piece up again to facilitate clearance, and you can even move these pieces back as well, and these pieces forward. So again, nothing will impede your articulation, nothing will get in the way, but just be careful, move these out of the way first before you articulate anything. Well, yeah, let's get to the legs now. The legs, of course, you need to move these assemblies out of the way, and you can sort of get them to go. And it can also suggest you move these because, again, you don't want anything catching. Can articulate forward. Forward, can do a high kick. You get a double bend at the knee, but to activate it, first you need to move this piece back. Then move the knee, and you can get activate the double joint. Very, very nice. I mean, this is a really good double bend. I mean, just look at that. Very natural. Move that back. Really nice. And you have a thigh swivel. I think that has a thigh swivel. And there's ankle joint. It can move. It can pivot here. Pivot there. Very nice. Very mobile. Again, nothing will try to impede your progress. Everything's on a bit of a joint, so you will get out of the way. And left. You can up pretty far. Move down that far. There is a toe bend. Very nice. Go toe bend. And you can do a lot of running poses. And as an extra bonus, this does have an extendable ankle joint. As you can see here, this is the ankle extended. This is the ankle normally. So it allows you to get a bit more of a deeper pose for your Prime than you're normally able to. Which is really, really nice addition. Let's get him armored up a little bit, you know, to where it would be to my liking. And we'll get him some comparisons to other Optimus Prime figures. Let's get some comparisons going. First things first, here is the, well, I think this one came out during Dark of the Moon or Age of Extinction. Feel free to correct me in the comment section. This is the dual model kit version of Optimus Prime. And yeah, this was very accurate to the model when it first came out because it holds up pretty well, surprisingly enough, compared to the Threezero. Especially in terms of the proportions, the shape, I mean, the actual color. But this is the Dark of the Moon version, so there are differences in the model compared to the original Fallen version. My DLX Bumblebee Optimus, as you can see here, a bit taller. I'm not sure how much of that is because of the pose I have this Prime in. G1-ish approach versus a sort of more original take on the Optimus Prime design. This is a mix between G1 and Bayverse. This is pure Bayverse. But look at how far we've come in terms of live action Transformer designs. Premium scale, Dark of the Moon, Optimus Prime. And as you can see here, this is very, very weathered. I think from his opinion, it was a bit too weathered, you know. And you can actually see it's very dull, sort of orangish red compared to this very bright, vibrant, metallic red and blues. So, yeah, you can see sort of where Threezero has taken their knowledge and sort of applied it to this figure. All that they've learned so far, and they've applied it to this figure. And it is a marked improvement over the premium scale, in my opinion. In my opinion, if you can see me over this massive beast of a figure. But yeah, you got all the finer details right this time, you know. And this thing doesn't suffer from the, I think, crippling quality control issues that Threezero had in the early days. You know, still a really good figure, but again, this is like the pinnacle of this. I mean, they can take this paint job and apply it to this one. I mean, this would be like the best Transformers figure of all time. This would be the most accurate representation of the Bayverse Optimus model. MP10 Optimus Prime, and he is quite a bit taller than MP10. That's it for our review of the DLX Threezero Optimus. Final thoughts on this figure? Well, I mean, this is great. And for the price you're paying, I mean, the quality control, the paint, the engineering is far above what I think Takara is offering in terms of Transformer output in the Masterpiece line. I mean, the recent MP44 Optimus had a lot of breakage issues, had a lot of paint chipping, and it's about the same price as this thing. So, you know, if you want to go route, and if you don't really mind the whole non-transforming transformer thing, yeah, this is the way to go. I mean, Threezero, good job. You got my good books. Yeah, and I do hope that they come out with a masterpiece, DLX Knight Prime from Age of Extinction, the last Knight, what have you. So yeah, if you are interested in this figure, I do believe we have some more extra stock incoming. Links will be, of course, be in the description below, and we'll see you in the next episode. Till all are one.